Before we continue this video, I just want to say that I have a new offer available for everyone who wants me to review your game. So if you currently suck at texting, you don't know how to approach, you're bad at conversations, you're not able to get on dates and pull girls back home, this offer is for you. It's a one-time coaching call for 97 euros, okay? And so if you want me to review your game so you can get to the next level and push past plateaus, then check out the link at the top of the description, okay? There you can find my email, jaydenraith@gmail.com, or you can send me a DM on Instagram @jraith. Now that's all I had to say. Enjoy the rest of the video. Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Jayden here, cold approach expert. And in this video today, we're gonna talk about cold approach, and we're gonna talk about being bold. And we're gonna talk about why you need to be bold with women and how that's gonna actually help you get laid a lot more. And it's a lot safer to be bold than to be passive. And it's just all around better. And I will explain to you everything today. This video is gonna be a master class. And so if you're not actually getting the results that you want, stick around till the end of the video, learn something new, and then go out and apply it, okay? If you're watching my content and you're not going out and applying, then what are you doing? You're just actually wasting your time, okay? And so don't be a time waster. Don't waste your own time, okay? So let's get into the video, okay? Here's the thing. When you see a woman out and about in real life, okay? Whether it's on the streets, in the bars, in the clubs, or even a girl might be, you might see her at school, you might see her at work, you might see her in an event somewhere. You have to understand that before you do the approach, before you introduce yourself, before you start to talk to the girl, you have to understand that she's already dating and she's already having sex, okay? Now, it's gonna depend on each individual woman. Some women date a lot, some women date a little bit, some women have a lot of sex, and some women have very little sex. However, you have to understand that before you come into the picture, her life is already running. You see what I'm saying, my G? And so when her life is already running, she's just existing, going out with different guys, entertaining different guys, whatever it is. From that place, women categorize guys in two different distinct places, okay? Number one way of categorizing guys is women categorize guys in the first category as what I like to call the roundabout guy, okay? The guy that's trying to smash, but in a roundabout way, okay? I'll tell you a little story to fully encapsulate this point. So yesterday, I was out with a girl that I hook up with sometimes, and we were just having a coffee, chilling, enjoying the sun. And I asked her a question. I said, when guys ask you out on dates, because I'm not dating her exclusively, and I don't have the interest to do that either, So I'm just, hanging out, hooking up, having fun. She's kind of like a friends with benefits, okay? And so I was asking her, I said, when guys ask you out, when they take you out on dates, or, when they're trying to, get in your pants, how do they go about it, I was curious about her experience. And then she was telling me, she told me a lot of things, but she was telling me that there's this personal trainer. She does not work out. She doesn't go to the gym. But there's this guy that's a personal trainer. And he was, hitting on her, flirting with her and so on. And then he was like, let's go for a run tomorrow. That was like his way of, asking her out, like trying to move it forward, right? Because he's trying to smash, but in a roundabout way. He's trying to, take the chick on a run and then, figure out the situation. And so basically he presented the idea to her. He's like, yeah, let's go for a run tomorrow. And she goes, run? I don't run. And then he was like, okay. And he didn't have anything more to say. He didn't have a follow-up. He didn't have another way of connecting with women. It's the same way, some dudes out there in normal life, they're like photographers and they're like trying to take pictures of girls and go that way. Other guys, they're organizing events. You know, they organize events, they invite girls, and they try to go that way. So it's a roundabout way that depends heavily on situation and activity, okay? So that's the first type of way that women categorize men. Women instinctively, sorry guys, women instinctively know, I'm so caffeinated. Women instinctively know that when you step up, when you're inviting them somewhere, when you are just interacting with them, biologically, they know that you want to smash, okay? And so they know that there's guys who want to do it in this kind of way, like roundabout, and there's the second category, which I'm going to talk about right now. So the second category, that's our category. That's what my channel is about, and that's what you should be about if you like my content, if you fuck with my content. And that is the category of being bold, assertive, and going for what you want. You don't need a situation. You don't need like to organize something. You don't need to catch a workout with the girl. You don't need to like create some kind of event. You don't need to depend on anything external but yourself and your personality. And beyond that, you're not just the guy that's playing it safe, because remember, this video is about being bold, right? So it's not just about saying, hey, you look nice, what's your name, da-da-da, but taking risks, saying statements that are sexually charged, risking it. If you think she has a great ass, telling her what you're gonna do to her, you know, but obviously in a socially calibrated way, pushing the interaction forward, okay? Now, when you do that, you have to understand that women put you in the category of desire, and that's the category that you want to be in, right? Okay, and so again, coming back full circle here, okay, I'm going to explain everything full circle. Women categorize men in two different ways, but they don't just categorize men in two different ways. They're usually having sex with men off of desire, quickly, at nightclubs, bars, or if you ever talk to women, they'll tell you stories like, oh, I just met a guy on the beach and then we hooked up, right? But you have to build some kind of rapport before you kind of like get this information out of them. It's not something that they're just gonna say randomly in public because they're gonna look like sluts. But they do actually hook up, have fun. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, because I'm operating purely in the desire category, okay? Now, there's two types of desire. There is the visual desire. A woman looks at you and she goes, wow, he's hot, he's handsome, he's tall, or whatever it is. And then there's the desire, which is generated and created through your personality, through the way you speak, through the way you look at her. And so what I'm promoting on my channel is this. You walk up to a girl and you look her in the eyes and you say what you want. You're clear in your intent. You're not afraid to make it sexual. You're not afraid to, you know, do edgy jokes or dark humor and cross the boundaries of what normal conversation is. Now, when you do that, here's what you need to understand. When you're bold, when you're going for it, it doesn't mean that she's gonna be wide open for you just because you're bold, okay? It doesn't mean that you're automatically gonna like be swimming, you know, in all sorts of success, right? But it means,
hello,
hey, oh, what's
hi.
up? It means that it's kind of like, okay, I'll give you an analogy just to make it more simple for you. It's kind of like, imagine a plane, okay? Imagine a plane. Before takeoff, right? It has to create enough force, okay? Enough power, enough force to actually ascend up into the heavens, right? If it doesn't have enough mass, enough force, what's gonna happen is gonna keep going forward and scoot off the runway and crash and burn. So in the same way, when you walk up to a girl and you're bold and you're, you know, really going for it and you're really putting yourself out there and you're risking it, what happens is you're gonna put yourself in a situation where you're either gonna crash and burn like within a few minutes, or the plane is gonna take off. Now, the main point here is once the plane takes off, you actually get to your destination. So many of these guys who organize events, who try to meet women in a roundabout way, they're burning their time, energy, and money, And sometimes they get laid and other times they don't. But me, I walk up bold. You walk up bold. And maybe within the first few minutes, you crash and you burn. Maybe the girl's not into it, or maybe, she's like having a boyfriend, or maybe you are a little bit too much or something like that, right? So you crash and you burn. But the women that are into it, the women that respond well to it, the women that enjoy that, the women that love that, guess what? The plane takes off. And when the plane takes off, when she starts to spend time with you, you are so much closer to sex, my friend. You basically put yourself in the best situation possible. By being bold, by going for it, you have actually filtered out all the women. Because some women just want free dinners. On my channel, I don't promote you to have dinner on a first date, but some women want attention, validation, free dinners. They just want to suck your energy. But they don't do that to bold guys, because they know if they hang out with a bold guy, he's going to try to smash. He's not going to waste his own time. You see what I'm saying? So all the women that potentially want to waste your time, they will filter themselves out, because you're not like the nice guy who's trying to go about it in a roundabout way. You see what I'm saying? Because the guy who's trying to go about it in a roundabout way, he's like, oh yeah, I can show up to the event. Oh, he's just gonna take a picture of me. Oh, we're just gonna go for a run. And so these guys are burning their time and their energy spending time with the girl. Meanwhile, she never, ever, ever had any interest of sleeping with him. But when you walk up, when you're bold, when you're confident, when you go for it, when you don't give a fuck, my G, because we're only here on this planet one time, one life, my G, you're gonna filter appropriately. And so some women, within a few minutes of talking to you, they're gonna be like, nah, this ain't for me. Good riddance, in my opinion. And some women are gonna be turned on. They're gonna be like, oh, hello, biting their lip and enjoying your company. And then all you need to do, when a woman is into your boldness, all you need to do is not fall into the nice guy trap. Like, oh, I need to spend time, I need to build her up, and I need to go on many dates. No, you try to smash today. So, for example, if I walk around on the street and I find a chick and I'm bold and I'm like, yo, baby, you ever dated, maybe I'll say something like, you ever dated a real nigga? And I look at her like this and she goes, you a real nigga? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a super nigga, you know? And she goes, oh my God. My first thought is not like, oh, I need to get to know this chick and I need to take her out and, slowly evolve and develop the conversation. My first thought is, where the fuck is the nearest bar? Okay, there's a bar over there. Come here, baby, let's go to this bar. Boom. Take her to the bar, have a couple drinks. Hey, I live just right there. Or let's say I live outside the city center. Hey, baby, come. We're going in a taxi. I got the best rooftop in town. Let me show you. Boom. Lead. And so when it's going well, honestly, only thing you need to do when she's responding well to the boldness is lead, and put her in a position where you're private with her, okay? It could be your apartment. It could be her apartment. It can be any place, right? Maybe you're in a house party. You meet a chick, you're bold, and she's like, really digging it, okay? Look for the nearest room, my G, Don't waste time. And that was the biggest mistake that I had when I started to learn about boldness, about being assertive, about being dominant. I noticed that women responded well to that, and then I'd fall into the nice guy. I'll be like, oh, okay, she's responding well, like I'm getting stimulated by her. Oh, I need to like drag this out across multiple dates. But what happens is, if you first present yourself in a bold way and then you fall into a nice guy, she will think that you're inauthentic, because she's like, oh, here was the guy who, like, you showed up as the guy who was gonna fuck her, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I just need to take my time and get to know you. And she goes, ew, what is this energy shift? Like, why are you like this? Ew, I don't want to be a part of this. And so you've basically misrepresented yourself. You see what I'm saying, my G? And so if you start off bold, if you start off strong, which is my recommendation, you need to stay in character, is what I'm saying. If she's responding to the boldness, work on pulling her, okay? It doesn't matter where I am in the world. I could be in a nightclub, meet a girl, and I see she's a little bit turned on, boom, go for the makeout. And then I'm like, hey, let's smoke a cigarette outside, or let's baby step this conversation to go to the next level. You see what I'm saying? Because boldness is kind of like a wave, okay? You want to surf the wave all the way, you know what I'm saying? Imagine you being a surfer and you catch a wave. Are you gonna just stop in the middle of the wave? Of course not. You want to enjoy the whole wave. That's why you went out surfing in the first place, right? Because it's an enjoyable activity. So in the same way, being bold is a very enjoyable activity, but only if you're willing